is the seeking of information. Thank you so much, Paulette. Yes. There is the seeking of information, and also there is seeking of funding. Yes. So Douglas, how can a young person or a starting business identify the best lenders or the best ventures to get loans for the business or investors?
Okay. Thank you, Sylvia. I think the greatest challenge of a young person venturing into business is the access of capital. Mm-hmm. And, it cuts across. They say the world is not fair. Some come from setups or backgrounds where they can even get family support. That does not happen to many of us, right? Many of us, actually, the family looks up to us, to do something about it. It's not the other way around. But there are families where you come from, as long as you have a sound idea, sometimes even from the dinner table ideas, fly around, mm-hmm. and people are like, we can try this. Mm-hmm. But that is a very small percentage. Mm-hmm. So what is very key for a young person, the first thing is that capital is not the greatest challenge, mm-hmm. as you'll come to discover, is having a viable business idea. Once you do, then, you can now start thinking of the next level, which is how do I finance this? Part of it could be your own savings. As I say also, we are not the same. Young people are various levels, even here at university. Some come driving, some come walking. 10 years into employment, they are still walking. Yeah. So people are not the same. But the point here is you'll first assess the nature of business you want to do. You must have a clear vision of what you want to achieve. Then go down to break it down. What are the requirements? What are the building blocks? Mm-hmm. Where can I access this? Right? If you see that, part of the funding you have as a person from your savings can kickstart that would be a very good idea. Mm-hmm. Because also there is the cost of capital. Mm-hmm. You can have a very good, flowery this idea, but going by the source of funds you seek, you are not able to make traction. Mm-hmm. If you go for silos, for example, and you've not assessed the returns of the business, mm-hmm. the interest alone, what we call COCA, or the cost of capital in the finance language, will overtake the returns. Mm-hmm. So what does it mean? You're basically not in business. You're not even my timing. Mm-hmm. You're walking backwards. Yeah. Right? So this is a very good idea, and that's why many businesses fail, because many people go into it, with this emotional excitement. Mm-hmm. They never get to a point, and say, wait a minute, what do I need for this journey? Men also are obsessed with this idea. They want to begin big, a flashy office, mm-hmm. All these websites. Mm-hmm. You first need to begin. Mm-hmm. So begin small, and you first need to begin. Mm-hmm. Then these things can come in. There is the banks, of course. You can go for banks, but for young people, you'll make yourself, you'll do yourself a good service. You can first tick the box of the government, offered facilities. Mm-hmm. Because they have moratorium first. That is the period in which you are not required to start paying, because it's though once you dip in money, it doesn't mean that tomorrow the money is flowing in back. Mm-hmm. You have to make use of those and begin small. And if you can partner, greatest business ideas, be it Facebook, even Microsoft, they began with this partnership. Mm-hmm. First thing, you have a shoulder to lean on. You have someone to share the challenges. Some of the times entrepreneurs are crazy people. Mm-hmm. Because you are seated somewhere, and sometimes you're coming up with something which does not exist, and you really want to push it. Mm-hmm. So you need that, a set of shock absorbers, if I was to say that. Even when things fail, you have this support structure to begin again. Mm-hmm. So there is the banks, of course. You can proceed to the banks, but then also something else, and I think I want to link it to the question you asked earlier. Whatever returns you get, make sure you have what we call proper record keeping, mm-hmm. bookkeeping, because banks will ask for collateral. Mm-hmm. In most cases, young people do not, mm-hmm. but proper records mm-hmm. can stand in for that, right? So you begin the first portion, be very faithful. Build your credit history very well. This is what will guarantee you capital out here. Mm-hmm. Then once you repay, you got 100,000, for example, you can now come in because you started to earn the trust. Mm-hmm. So your business records, make sure if you have things like M-Pesa or whatever, do what we call termination at the bank. Let them not end at your end. Link them up to some bank or whatever. So with those activities, that alone can guarantee you more access to some more funding. But if you operated, in a cocoon somewhere, closed, it's your pocket and your customer, no one knows, right? You have no financial records to show to anyone. So those are some of the things which are very key. For now, we cannot talk about great financing. Of course, good proposals, people are good in writing good proposals, the business plans and whatever. You can access funding locally and internationally. There is financing, not much. You're not going to run into your social media platform and raise money to a stranger. It doesn't happen. Yeah. So let's not be under no illusion as a young person. About this aspect of financing. I usually say no one owes you anything. The world does not owe you anything. Yes. So do not feel like people need to give you money by virtue that you showed up. That is not how the financial system works, right? Do that which you must do. Then people will start believing in you and they will support the cause. Yes.